Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 1, Veteran Student. Senior, how do you sell this fan? On an inner square of Jiang University, a 25-year-old young man squatted in front of a stall, picked up a small white electric fan and asked the stall owner, who was about the same size as him, or even bigger than him. Obese youths who are 1 or 2 years younger are required. Jiangzhou University, the full name of Jiangzhou University, is the best comprehensive university in Jiangzhou, and Jiangzhou is the largest city in Qing province and the capital city. Therefore, Jiangzhou University is also the best university in Qing province, even if it is across the country. Jiangzhou University has consistently entered the top 10. Today, in the best university in Qinghai province, a small trade fair is being held. Both sides of the transaction are students from Jiangda University. The main reason is that the graduation season is here, and the seniors are about to leave the school. Many of their things will not be taken away, and if they can continue to be used, they will be traded. Those who come to buy things are some lower-grade students. You can buy things here without worry, and the price is relatively cheaper. Therefore, today this trade fair is very lively. The trade fair was held in the largest square in the school, and the person who just spoke was a small fan in the booth. However, the fat stall owner did not directly answer his words, but looked at him with some doubts and asked, "How old are you? Why don't you look like it?" The young man said with a calm face, "My sophomore, only 20 years old, it's just that the elder has become a little older." "Is this a little bit?" the fat man murmured. "You obviously look older than me," but he didn't bother with this issue. Whatever he did, he was here to sell things, not to check his account. I bought this fan last year. You see, it's useless. It's still new. For the sake of everyone being a school, it will sell you for 20 yuan. The fat man said, he is also a new one. A senior student, this is about to leave school, he plans to go to the Magic City to develop. Naturally these little things can't be brought, and it's not convenient. In front of this fat man's booth, besides the fan, there were a lot of clothes hangers, wash basins, and shoe cabinets, and so on. He went to the field by himself. It was not easy to bring too many things, so he had to deal with it here. 20 yuan. Senior, you are too high, right? Even if I buy a new one, it is only 25. You have used all of this. Look, there is still a crack here. Let's do it. Everyone step back each, 5 yuan. The young man was not satisfied with the price. The fat man almost spewed a mouthful of old blood after hearing this young man's words. Is this taking a step back? There are too many retreats. And, the crack, you look at it with a magnifying glass, it has no effect at all. Okay, you can't see it if you don't stick your eyes on it. The fat man was a little speechless about this schoolboy, but he still wanted to sell these things. The price was not satisfied, so he could continue to talk, but he obviously had no experience in this area. Finally, after being fooled by the young man, he agreed to sell it for 8 yuan. When he reacted, the young man had already held the electric fan in his hand. The fat senior was a little bit dumbfounded, but he didn't continue to entangle himself. Everyone is from the same school, so there is no need to quarrel about this $10 thing. And that young man seemed to have a soft spot for the fat seniors. After talking about the fan, he didn't pay to leave immediately, but continued to look at other things. So, in the nerves of the fat seniors becoming more and more broken, that the young man bought most of the things in his stall, and all the things added up, the total is less than 50 yuan, even if all of these have been used, he has lost a lot. Regarding the crying expression of the fat senior in front of him, the young man didn't seem to see it. Instead, he said to himself, "Senior, you see that I take care of your business so much. Should you give me something? Give it as a gift. I've already lost money by selling these things to you." If there were too many people around, the fat senior would almost be called out. He didn't think of the somewhat sophisticated junior in front of him. Actually, he is very good at fooling around and bargaining. He was biased by him unknowingly. If it weren't for considering that everyone is in the same school, he would want to take things back and not sell them. "Senior, don't be so pretentious, everyone is from the same school, you can't take these things with you, I will help you deal with it, didn't I help you solve the trouble?" Don't say thank you, we are all from a school, you just give me some small things. The young man said to the fat senior with a sincere smile on his face. How can I care about it? If it weren't for a school, I would have blasted you away. The fat man felt his blood surge, and he was obviously the other party who had been arguing about the price. He seemed to be compromising all the time. Senior, you see that we should stop entangled in this issue, it is meaningless, you see that I have bought so many things from you, it is considered to take good care of your business, you are so good to give away some small things, show it right. The young man said without giving up. Yes, do you think you can take it yourself, take it, and go quickly, and I will lose money when I sell you things. The fat young man was obviously afraid of the student opposite him, and the rest of these there is nothing valuable in it. I know the senior is the most generous, and can take care of our junior students, so I won't pick it anymore, just take this. The young man said as he said, he swiftly placed the fat senior next to the senior. I brought a large storage box from. He had been eyeing this storage box a long time ago, but he didn't think there was anything magical about this storage box. On the contrary, he bought so many things, it was not good at all. Take it, it's best to have this box. I'm going, this is what you call the little thing. The fat man had a new understanding of the cheeky of the schoolboy opposite him. Isn't it just a small thing, senior, but you said you asked me to pick it, you won't regret it? The young man looked at the fat senior warily, as if he was afraid he would come up to grab it. What's your expression? Okay, take it, take it. The fat senior said, this storage box was originally prepared to deal with, but because the model is a little bigger, it takes up space, and the edges are cracked. Some were opened, so no one had asked before, and there was nothing to give to the young man. Thank you, senior. The young man swiftly put all the things he bought in the storage box, and then paid the money, holding the storage box and left, fearing that the fat senior would chase him. Hey, why did he go outside the school? Where is he going to hold these things? The fat senior thought, looking at the young man in confusion. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 2, Bloodstained Storage Box. Hey, good luck today. I bought a lot of things and haven't spent any money. I'm so wise. The young man walked out holding the storage box that is more than the ordinary storage box, and muttered to himself. The young man's name is Huang Feng, nicknamed a lunatic. He is 26 years old today. His appearance is not bad. Although he is not of the kind of handsome guy, he is also a good-looking type. The reason why he walked out of school with these things, that's because he is not a student of this school at all, even he has graduated for 2 years. There are several universities near Jiang University, but other universities are better than Jiang's in terms of teaching quality and reputation, and Huang Feng graduated from one of these humble universities. It is said that it is in the top 10 in a country like Jiangda, and it is not even a key university, so it can barely be regarded as a second-rate university. Nowadays, there are more and more college students, and jobs are getting harder and harder to find. It is not easy for students who graduated from prestigious universities to find good jobs, not to mention that he is ranked low in second-rate universities. Therefore, employment pressure is great after graduation, and it is not easy to find a good job. I have changed a lot of jobs and not saved much money. Naturally, I can save money in terms of living. And the reason why Huang Feng appeared at Jiangda today was because he knew that Jiangda would have such an intramural trade fair today, so he came here deliberately. He lives a few stops away from Jiangda, near the university. The rental price is generally relatively high, and he can't afford it. It's said that June is like a fire. That's right. Under the scorching sun, Huang Feng was already sweating profusely when he walked to the bus stop holding the pile of things. Fortunately, he usually exercises his body and his body still can hold on. Riding on a crowded bus, in the strange eyes of other passengers and drivers, Huang Feng arrived near the house he rented. If it weren't because the weather was too hot and he was holding a bunch of things, he would have planned the road for several stops. Go straight back. It's too hot this day. It's already past noon. It's still so hot, and it's too hot to let people pass. Huang Feng complained as he walked to his cabin. However, when going upstairs, because he wants to avoid a person who is going downstairs, he just needs to hold the storage box and give way to the side. However, even so, the small space still makes the opponent hit him, and the opponent is not intentionally, and immediately apologized, but Huang Feng didn't hold on to them. Damn, it's really unlucky, it bleeds. When Huang Feng returned to his rental house, he found that when the other party hit him, his arm was drawn to the cracked place beside the storage box. The skin was pierced and some blood bleed. Huang Feng didn't care either. He took the towel and wiped the blood on his arm, but he didn't notice that there was some stains of his blood in the place where the storage box was broken, but it disappeared strangely at this time. The area of Huang Feng's rental house is only 7 or 8 square meters. Because of the limited space and, of course, the lack of money, there is very little furniture in his room. There is only one bed, one table and not even a stool. However, the room the inside is not very messy, he is a clean person, although the room is not big, but he cleaned it up. I'm exhausted, this landlord is too picky, and doesn't install the air conditioner on such a hot day. Huang Feng muttered while taking out the small electric fan from the storage box. Of course, he was just muttering. He also knew that if the air conditioner was installed, the rent would definitely go up. In this case, he would rather blow the fan. Turning on the switch, the small fan turned, bringing a bit of coolness to Huang Feng. The fat senior didn't lie to him. There was no problem with this fan and it was completely usable. The 8 yuan was worth the money. You are my little apple, I don't want to love you too much. When the phone rang, Huang Feng quickly picked up his mobile phone. A few days ago, his last job was lost, and he was posting resumes everywhere these days. Interview, so I have been waiting for news. Manager Lu. What? I was hired. I will go to work tomorrow. Great, thank you, Manager Lu, well, I will be there on time tomorrow. You can rest assured that I will not be late. Huang Feng said with a smile on his face. Oi. Huang Feng cheered after he hung up the phone. The one who called him just now was from one of the units he interviewed in the past few days, but there was no news from the other units. Huang Feng thought it was. The companies in the interview failed this time. I didn't expect to be hired by one of them, even though it was just a security guard. That's right, the job interviewed by Huang Feng is security. It's not easy to find a job these years. Even the job of security is not so easy to interview. For example, the job interviewed by Huang Feng is a big company. Security can not only good physical fitness, and good image, educational background, college degree, or above. Although there are many requirements, there are many interviewers, and Huang Feng is one of them, because the company's benefits are good, with a salary of 3,005, 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, and gifts or shopping vouchers for holidays. 1 day off, the other day is counted as overtime, and overtime is paid. This kind of treatment can be considered good in Jiangzhou. Although it can't be compared with those white-collar workers, it is better than Huang Feng's previous job. Now I know that he was naturally happy when he was hired, not to mention that there was no news at all from other families. However, Manager Lu also said on the phone that they are a big company, so they must pay attention to the appearance and security clothing. The company will distribute them uniformly. However, the shoes will not, and the shoes must be black leather shoes, and they must not be too fancy. Huang Feng himself has a pair of leather shoes, but they have been wearing them for 2 years, and they are a bit worn out. Therefore, in order to give the leader a good impression tomorrow, he reluctantly decided to go out and buy a new pair. After that, Huang Feng went out with his little money. In a leather shoe store, he bought a pair of leather shoes for more than 100 yuan. Of course, it is impossible for him to go to any specialty store with his savings. I bought it locally. After returning to the rental house, Huang Feng put the newly bought leather shoes in the large storage box. At this time, the storage box has become Huang Feng's storage box. The space here is just that, just right. Need such a thing to place things. Putting on his leather shoes, Huang Feng lay on the bed and played with his mobile phone. He didn't have much money, so naturally he didn't have any rich nightlife. Fortunately, most of the rental rooms now have wireless networks, and he doesn't need internet access. Worry. Huang Feng didn't watch TV or movies, but accidentally opened a short commercial. He was planning to close it, but because there were stars he liked, he kept watching. This short film advertises a tea drink. In the advertisement, a pair of young men and women live on the upper and lower floors of the same building. The magic is that the refrigerators in the two houses can pass things to each other. The tea beverage that the owner put in the refrigerator somehow went to the refrigerator in the male owner's house downstairs, and the two also began to connect through the refrigerator. Huang Feng watched it with gusto. The commercial was well shot, and there were other stars he liked, so he didn't hang up the window until he finished watching it. What Huang Feng didn't know was that when he was watching the short commercial, he was placed in the storage box under the bed, and a faint light flashed. After that, his leather shoes disappeared. A few seconds later, the shoes it's back again, but it seems that there has been some change in appearance. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 3, Strange Leather Shoes. At the same time, in an unknown plane of technology, a slightly bloated young man was sitting on the sofa, drinking red wine, while listening to the middle-aged man next to him gushed introducing his hand. Leather shoes, a pair of black leather shoes. Master Bruce, my pair of leather shoes use the latest technology inside. From the outside, they are just ordinary leather shoes, but no matter who wears them, they can run as fast as the wind. The middle-aged man holding his leather shoes, he said to the youth, moreover, this pair of leather shoes uses happy technology, the surface will not be dirty, and it can automatically change the shoe size according to the size of the person wearing it. It can be said that such a pair of shoes, as long as if you like, you can wear it for a lifetime. Huh? Do you think I'm the kind of person who wears a pair of shoes for a lifetime? The young man, who was the young Master Bruce in the man's mouth just now, said with a frown. Of course not, of course not. The middle-aged man hurriedly explained. Okay, you can keep these shoes and go to the butler to collect the money. The Master Bruce waved, interrupting him. Thank you, Master Bruce. The middle-aged man stood up and said with a smile on his face. He didn't spend too much energy on these shoes. Now he can sell them for a good price. Of course he is satisfied. Bruce squinted at the shoes he bought for a big price. He didn't have much love in his eyes. It is no wonder that the shoes he usually wears are either brand name or privately made, which looks very ordinary. Much like leather shoes from a street stall, if he had been before, he wouldn't even look at them. However, tomorrow he has a running race to participate in. The people who participate are the rich second generation and official second generation in the circle. He will also participate in Bruce. However, his body is relatively bloated, not to mention running, even if he is walking. After walking a little longer, he would feel very tired. For this, he was not less ridiculed by people in the circle. Therefore, after knowing that the middle-aged man had such a pair of shoes in his hand, he proposed to hold it. In this game, I want to show my face in front of my friends in my circle, and see who will say he can't run in the future. No one wearing sneakers can compare to me wearing leather shoes. What face is there to make fun of me? Thinking of this, Bruce had a smile on his face, and he seemed to have seen the shocked expressions on the faces of his friends. He enjoyed the expressions very much. Putting down the wine glass, Bruce picked up the shoes and tried them. Sure enough, he could change the size by himself, and the comfort level was good. The workmanship was much worse than his previous shoes. After all, the man just now was a technology researcher, not a designer. Bruce stood up and tried it. After putting on these shoes, he felt that his body became much lighter, and he didn't feel that tired when running. Moreover, the speed was indeed not slow. Bruce took off his shoes with satisfaction and let his servants put them away. Although the speed was good, he did not want to wear shoes with such poor workmanship. He lost his identity, that is, to wear them during the game tomorrow. After that, these shoes will be thrown into the trash can by him. The servant put the shoes in Bruce's dedicated shoe cabinet, which contained various brand-name shoes. Such a pair of seemingly ordinary shoes were put in, and it really didn't match. After the person left, the shoe cabinet flashed a faint light without anyone seeing it, and the high-tech shoes that were just put in disappeared, but they reappeared after a few seconds, and the situation in Huang Feng is the same, and no one has seen this change. After the appearance of these shoes, the surface has changed, which seems to be different. There was nothing for the whole night. The next morning, Huang Feng got up early. Manager Lu had already told him to go to work today. He should not be late. Even if Manager Lu didn't say anything, Huang Feng would not be late. He was late on the first day of work, and he must have a bad impression on the leader. Does he want to continue working here? You know he still has 3 months of internship. Huang Feng took out from the storage box the pair of shoes that he had bought for more than 100 oceans yesterday, but when he first got it in his hand, he felt a slight difference. The pair of shoes yesterday was obviously a copycat and the workmanship was very poor. It feels a bit rough to the touch, and even if you press it hard, there will be obvious fine lines that are difficult to disappear. They should not be made of real cowhide. But now, after he picked up the shoes again, he found that the surface of the shoes became shiny, and it was very comfortable to touch. The workmanship seemed to be much finer, and he remembered that the sides of the shoes were decorated with patterns. It was inlaid, but now it is clean and smooth, with no patterns at all. Sure enough, it is a copycat. I haven't worn it for a day. The decorative pattern is gone. If I didn't rush to use it today, I really want to change it directly. Huang Feng muttered while putting on his leather shoes. There is no doubt. I thought that the feel and workmanship were because I didn't look at it carefully yesterday, and I didn't know when the patterns on the shoes were removed. Well, it feels pretty good, very comfortable, much better than my previous pair, and it seems to feel better than when I tried it on yesterday. Because of the tight time, Huang Feng didn't think much about leather shoes, so he dressed well. A simple wash and set off. It's working time now. There are a lot of people and cars on the road. The bus stops are full of people. With his fairly strong body, Huang Feng squeezed into the bus. Part of his body is for exercise. Yes, part of it is this way to squeeze out the bus every day. Jianjiao Group is where Huang Feng is going to report today. It is a star enterprise in Jiangzhou, and it is considered a large enterprise in the entire Qin province. Even in the country, it is somewhat famous. The most attractive part of Jianjiao Group is that its old people are always female, which is said to be very beautiful. Of course, Huang Feng has never seen it before. Moreover, within the group, there are more women than men, and there is a serious decline of yin and yang. Naturally, it can attract the attention of men more. When the security guards were recruiting, many people came here with the idea of getting a month first. Therefore, there are a lot of people who signed up. It can be said that they can be hired, Huang Feng himself. It's also quite unexpected. Ah, my wallet is gone, there is a thief, catch the thief. When Huang Feng just got off the bus with the flow of people, a passenger not far from him suddenly yelled, which immediately attracted the attention of people around him, and Huang Feng found that after the passenger shouted out, she was not far away. As soon as his expression changed, he accelerated his departure. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 4, Catch the Thief. Stop, the one in the floral shirt in front. Huang Feng yelled, pointing at the man. After hearing Huang Feng's words, the man turned his head and glanced at Huang Feng fiercely. However, the speed under his feet was even faster, and he even ran quickly. Huang Feng was now even more sure that this person was suspicious. Huang Feng hurried forward, but there were a lot of people at this stop. He was squeezed into the crowd and it took a lot of effort to squeeze out the crowd, but at this time, the thief was already 100 meters away. Seeing this situation, Huang Feng planned to give up. Even if he ran faster, he can't catch up so far now. Moreover, he has to report to work, only to see the wallet stolen. The woman looked helpless, and he unconsciously chased forward a few steps. And just these few steps made Huang Feng stunned, because he felt that his body was a lot lighter, running without any effort, and the speed was much faster than before, and the somewhat stunned Huang Feng followed after running a few steps. I made sure that the feeling I just had was not an illusion, and that I really ran much faster than usual. Before he could think about it, Huang Feng looked at the thief who stopped deliberately and looked at himself provocatively with a smile. Small, let you know how powerful your brother is, so you dare to provoke me. Then, Huang Feng lifted his footsteps lightly and continued to run in the direction of the thief, and the thief saw that Huang Feng was still chasing him. He smiled disdainfully. He stopped for a while before continuing to run. He didn't think Huang Feng could catch him. He was originally a veteran in this industry. He couldn't run away enough, and his running speed was very fast. Most people couldn't catch up with him, not to mention that there was still more than 100 meters between him and Huang Feng. But, soon he heard the whispers of people around him, which made him a little strange and surprised. The people around him seemed to look at his back with incredible faces, as if something incredible was happening behind him. He instinctively turned his head to look back, and then he had the same expression as the people around him, with a shocked look on his face. How is it possible? How could he run so fast? Just now there are more than 100 meters left. How long has it been to chase so close? The thief yelled crazy in his heart. It is because what he saw was too close. It shocked him. Behind him, Huang Feng, which was originally more than 100 meters away from him, has now reduced this distance by about half. At this time, it was only a few seconds after Huang Feng chased him. This is still on a street with a lot of pedestrians. If there is no one around, how fast should he be? It's horrible. Huang Feng ran without feelings. He felt that his speed was really fast, the wind around his ears was full of wind, and the things around him were receding constantly. He felt that he had never run so fast before. Damn, is that buddy still a human? How can you run so fast? This man is an athlete, how could he run so fast? I think none of the Olympic champions can run as fast as him. It's too fast, I ran into it, avoided it, the speed is really too fast, just like the wind. Wife, come and see God. The people around were attracted by Huang Feng and looked at him in shock. They had never seen a person running so fast. Is this still a human? Moreover, this is still on a street with a lot of people. If he goes to participate in the Olympics, he will definitely win the gold medal. Look, he is wearing leather shoes. At this time, someone discovered that Huang Feng was wearing leather shoes instead of sneakers. This caused the crowd to explode. Nima, a man wearing leather shoes, with so many people running so fast, Nima is too unbelievable. The thief was even affected. Seeing Huang Feng getting closer, his own speed was involuntarily slowed down. He felt that no matter how much he ran, he couldn't run Huang Feng. He saw Huang Feng's. After the speed, he felt a deep despair. Run, why didn't you run? Do not do anything wrong, you must be a thief. Huang Feng grabbed the wallet in the thief's hand and said. Impossible, this is impossible. The thief was still muttering to himself as if he hadn't heard Huang Feng's words, and his face was also confused and shocked. Obviously, he hadn't wanted to understand until now. Why can Huang Feng run so fast? This is simply non-human. I'll let you steal my wallet and tell you to steal it. At this moment, the person who said that he had been stolen the wallet also ran over out of breath, and hit the thief's head with his bag as soon as he came. The man's actions were all to awaken the thief. Instead of looking at the person who was stolen, he looked at Huang Feng and said, "How did you do it? How did you do it?" Huang Feng knew what he was asking, but he deliberately pretended to be stupid because he was also confused. Honestly, don't talk nonsense, the police will be there later. Although Huang Feng was the only one chasing the thief just now, there were still people around who called the police, so the police would arrive soon. However, the thief didn't seem to care about the police. He still looked at Huang Feng closely and kept repeating the words just now, but Huang Feng didn't seem to hear him and didn't care about him. The police arrived soon, and things became clear. The thief was also a habitual offender. He had a criminal record at the police station. The police did not ask Huang Feng and the person who was stolen to go to the police station together, but simply did it here. A transcript let them leave. Huang Feng is of course very happy about this, because he still has to go to work. If he goes to the police station, he doesn't know how much time will be wasted, so after finishing the transcript, he is anxious. Hurry to the company. The person whose wallet was stolen wanted to thank Huang Feng for a while, but was rejected by him. He encountered this kind of thing by himself. If he could help, he would definitely help. He didn't think about any compensation. Although Huang Feng hurried, he was still late when he arrived at the company. Although he was only 2 minutes late, he was late after all. When he arrived at the security room, the previous manager Lu was there. Waiting, and his face is ugly. Sorry, Manager Lu, there was an unexpected delay on the road. I'm sorry, but it won't happen in the future. Huang Feng knew that he was going to suffer as soon as he saw the situation. He was late for work the first day and was arrested by his immediate boss. After a while, the luck is too bad, and the future will be difficult. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 5, What Happened? Something happened. Manager Lu frowned. Xiao Huang, I told you very clearly yesterday, don't be late, you see that you were late the first day, and the leaders of the company saw them. What do you think? You have to know that there are many people who want to do your job. I also look at you honestly, so I gave you this opportunity. If you don't want to do it, tell me as soon as possible. I want to do it, thanks to the manager's support, I promise I won't be late in the future. Huang Feng said, no way, who made him really late, as for the reason, he didn't want to say it, it was useless to say it. Okay, let's not take it as an example. I brought you all your uniforms. Put on your clothes and go to work officially. Fortunately, Manager Lu didn't want to fire Huang Feng on the first day, just criticizing and educating him. Pause, then let go. Thank you, Manager. Huang Feng said gratefully. You kid, I was late for work the first day. After Manager Lu left, Huang Feng put on his uniform in the security room. At this time, another security guard next to him said. Big brother joked, I really had some accident on the road, otherwise I would have arrived early. Huang Feng said, Big brother, what is your last name? We will be colleagues from now on. What is your surname? My surname is Wang, so you can call me Lao Wang. The security guard said. Then I'll call you Brother Wang, please take care of me in the future. What's wrong with my brother, just point it out. Huang Feng handed a cigarette and said, this colleague relationship still needs to be established. No, you newcomer don't know. It is stipulated that smoking is not allowed during working hours. There are too many girls. Brother Wang rejected the cigarettes that Huang Feng handed over and said, there is nothing to take care of. Everyone is a colleague, you can ask me if you don't understand in the future, but the work here is pretty easy, as long as you don't look at you randomly. Speaking of this, Brother Wang approached Huang Feng and said, this company's beauties are mostly famous. Even the boss is a beautiful woman. Your position is vacant because the previous person's eyes are open, and the target of the boss is the boss. So, I went home with a betting. Just now, Manager Lu said something quite right. Many people want to come to your position, so you must take care of your own eyes. Thank you, Brother Wang, for reminding me. I must pay attention. Huang Feng said, are we the only security guards? Of course not. Tianjiao is a big company. How could it be possible that there are only 2 of us security guards? There is a special security office here. The 2 of us are standing guard in the guard room. If the others are fine, they usually stay in the office, after all, the environment there is better, and the boss is also allowed. Wang Gu said. Huang Feng nodded, wondering that few people want to come here. The treatment of security guards here is indeed different. Okay, you come first, take a break first, I'll stand outside, and you will change me later. Brother Wang took his hat and was about to go out. Well, Brother Wang, you rest here, I'll go, I'm new here, just get used to the job. Huang Feng grabbed Brother Wang and said, he still knows this common sense. Brother Wang didn't fight with Huang Feng either. Now the sun has risen, and there is a duty room outside where it is comfortable, with air conditioning and newspapers. Of course, it is comfortable here. That's fine, just call me when you get tired later. Good. After Huang Feng finished speaking, he put on his security hat, walked out of the security room, and stood at the gate. The company is quite considerate of them. There are parasols here. Huang Feng is standing underneath. The sun can't shine at all. It's just that in this weather, even the air is hot. Naturally, it's not comfortable outside in a security room. But, yes. For Huang Feng, this place is already very good. There are a lot of people coming and going around, and security guards usually work half an hour earlier than other employees. Therefore, it is time for Tianzhou employees to come to work at the company. Many employees rushed into the company, but many people also discovered Huang Feng, the new security guard. After all, they had all added the original security guard here, and it was the first time that Huang Feng met. For the curious gazes of the people around, Huang Feng seemed to have not seen him, and he still stood there honestly. His security is more like a face-saving project at this time, mainly to give a good impression to the people who enter the company, so, he naturally wants to perform better. By about 9 o'clock, there were almost no talents who entered the company, and Huang Feng's body could quietly relax. At this time, he also discovered that the company was really declining. It was just that time. Most of the employees who enter the company are women. Such a company with many more women than men is rare in Qing province, even in the whole country. Moreover, among the women just now, many of them are pretty good, plus an office uniform, the beautiful legs under the short skirt are indeed very attractive. Huang Feng feels that standing guard here is a test of will. It's no wonder that his predecessor will be fired because of looking at him, it is really too tempting. At this time, Huang Feng had the heart to think about his own affairs. The first thing he thought of was the sudden increase in his speed when he arrested the thief this morning. If it was only a little faster than usual, he might not be able to find out. But today he had to go much faster than usual, and even if there were too many pedestrians there, he felt that he could be faster. What is going on? Huang Feng wondered with some confusion. People who don't understand may think he has always been so fast, but only he knows that he can never run at this speed, even today. It's only half of this speed. Huang Feng lowered his head and looked at his whole body carefully. He didn't notice any difference. He didn't do anything special yesterday. How could it suddenly become like this? Is it just a sudden burst of potential? No, when I have time, I will try again. Huang Feng thought. At this time, Huang Feng noticed that a car was driving out of the company. He quickly stopped his cranky thinking and opened the electric door. Hey, why is it him? The woman sitting in the passenger seat of the car looked at Huang Feng, who was opening the door, and said softly. Who? The woman in the driving position glanced at Huang Feng outside and said, that new security guard. Sister Su, do you know him? The woman driving is a bit strange. She knows that the company has hired a new security guard, but she has never heard that this person knows Sister Su. Forget it, someone who is a bit interesting. The person called Sister Su glanced at Huang Feng again, then turned his head and said. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 6, Why does it seem different? The driver took another look at Huang Feng and remembered his appearance. After that, without saying anything, he drove out of the company. Huang Feng didn't know that the two people who had just passed there were discussing himself. After the car got out, he closed the electric door and returned to his post again. It can be said that being a security guard is still a bit boring, especially this kind of ceremonial security guard. He still can't run around at will, otherwise, the company's leader will have to be scolded when he sees it. Soon it was time for lunch, and Huang Feng and Brother Wang ate a little later than the others because of their duties. Let's go, the change of guard is here, let's go to the cafeteria. At this time, Brother Wang came out of the duty room and said to Huang Feng. Sure enough, Huang Feng saw two people in uniforms like him walking over. It should be here to change the guard. Good. Huang Feng said. Under the leadership of Wang Gu, Huang Feng came to the canteen of Tianzhou Group. I have to say that working in Tianzhou Group is really a good thing. The treatment is good, even the food is good. The decoration of the group's canteen is pretty good. There are many more types, and the prices are not expensive, anyway, it is cheaper than the small restaurants outside. Moreover, Brother Wang also said that the company will have a monthly food subsidy, even if they are security guards. Huang Feng felt once again that his luck was really good, and he was able to join such a good company, which was better than all the places he used to work. He was also thinking in his heart that he must perform well this time and say nothing easily. was fired. Because of his love to exercise, Huang Feng's appetite is still not small. Fortunately, the rice here is free of money. You can eat whatever you want. Huang Feng ordered 2 dishes with his meal card, 1 soup, 1 meat and 1 vegetarian, just right. And the amount is not too small, enough for him to eat, which is much better than what he usually eats. In many cases, he uses instant noodles to survive. Because the meal has already passed, there are very few people in the cafeteria. I occasionally see a few, and I just chatted there after eating. Okay, don't read it, remember what I said in the morning, don't look at it indiscriminately, these women are not what we people can think of, they have a high vision. Wang Gu touched Huang Feng and said. I know, Brother Wang, I didn't think about it. Huang Feng said. After 2 years of social experience, he is no longer the kind of innocent and ignorant he was when he first left school. He is now just a security guard, and these women are all companies. The salary of the white-collar workers is much higher than that of them, but they won't be attracted to the gatekeepers. In fact, Huang Feng didn't think about it. After eating, Brother Wang took Huang Feng to the security office again. The space here is also not small, and the air conditioner is always on, which is much more comfortable than standing guard outside. Because it was lunch break, Huang Feng didn't stay in the office, but found an excuse to go out. Brother Wang didn't care, just told him not to leave. Huang Feng went out of the building and found a place where no one was there. He was going to try his speed again to see if the scene in the morning was accidental or really. He looked around and made sure that there was no one. Huang Feng ran. Once he ran, the feeling of ease came again. His speed was getting faster and faster, because at this time, there was no one around, and Huang Feng did not deliberately. His restraint, so his speed is faster than in the morning. It turned out to be true, I can really run so fast. After stopping, Huang Feng said to himself, but, why is this? Yesterday, it was obviously normal. When I exercised yesterday morning, I haven't felt this way yet, why is it suddenly different today? Huang Feng did not rush to go back, but carefully thought about why he had this change. Huang Feng often runs and exercises, especially a few days ago, he lost his last job and was fine all day. All have the habit of running. And yesterday morning, he obviously didn't have the feeling of running easily now, because that feeling was very obvious. When Huang Feng was thinking about where the problem was, Master Bruce had already arrived with his friends and was ready to start the game. Bruce, you actually came, I thought you were going to be a turtle. A young man glanced at Bruce's figure and said. Yes, Bruce, usually, you are tired of walking, and now you have organized such a boring race. I think it's better to find a few beautiful women to accompany for a drive at this time. Bruce, are you serious? I thought you were joking. The people Bruce called over were not convinced. They thought Bruce was joking. They are the second generation of rich and second generation officials. It is better to enjoy life when they have time. Who would go to some boring running race if there is nothing to do? Although they are a little better than Bruce, most of them have long been hollowed out by alcohol. If they run, they are also very tired. They are naturally unwilling to do such a boring and tiring thing. Why are you scared? If you are scared, I can ask you to run in leather shoes later. You can wear running shoes or sneakers casually. Don't say I didn't give you a chance. Bruce glanced at the crowd and said. Afraid? Just your fat pig body, I walk faster than you run. One of the people who didn't deal with Bruce attacked him. He often likes to hit him with Bruce's figure, but for this one today. He is also most interested in the game. He also wants to take this opportunity to beat Bruce again. I hope the comparison is over later, you can say something like this, who loses later, the Grand Club treats. Bruce said, and then asked the servant to bring his new leather shoes, so low grade he doesn't wear leather shoes all the time, so he always wears his usual shoes before. This is about to start the game, and he thinks about changing shoes. Hey, why does it feel different? It's so uncomfortable to wear, it seems to be a little smaller. He frowned as soon as the shoes were put on. When they wore them yesterday, they felt pretty good to wear. Why did you spend the night? Time, is the comfort level so much worse? Moreover, the shoe number seems to be smaller. Damn guy, I used effective products to fool me, and I will ask you to settle the account after I have finished the competition. Bruce felt like he was being tricked. How is this a successful work? It is simply defective, otherwise how could such a big change happen overnight? However, he originally planned to only wear the game for a while, and he has already let go of the words, and now he must not hold back, otherwise he would not slap himself in the face. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 7, Lost. Well, those who lose, the M Grand Club treats you. That's a deal. When everyone heard Bruce's words, their eyes brightened. The consumption level in the Emperor Club is not low. They often go to play, but now Bruce takes the initiative to treat guests in disguise, they can't ask for it. Yes, in their opinion, this is what Bruce is in disguised form. What is Bruce's situation, neither of them knows. A person who walks for a little longer will be very tired, and runs not much faster than a normal person. Such people will lose. Obviously impossible. Laugh, you won't be able to laugh later, after today, who will I laugh at if I can't run? Bruce thought silently, shaking his bloated body. However, the process and results of the game were completely different from what Bruce thought. He ran at the same speed as usual. Even after running a few steps, he felt that his body was already sweating, his breathing was a bit rapid, and his body felt exhausted. This is completely different from when he tried on these shoes yesterday. Seeing everyone running further and further, the anger on Bruce's face became heavier and heavier, especially when many people turned their heads to look at him with mockery on their faces. Bruce felt that he couldn't help it anymore. I was fooled. Dare to fool me. I want to kill you. Bruce simply stopped. He knew that he could no longer win, and all he thought now was that he was actually being tricked by the other party. What kind of high-tech is this? Shoes, this TM is rubbish. Not even rubbish. Bruce, why didn't you run away? This is just the beginning, so you gave up. That's right, Bruce, come chase us, just let you he. Damn, you guy took the initiative to compare with us. I thought you had secretly exercised. You have a big killer move. You can't do it so quickly. I haven't warmed up yet. Bruce is coming, give us another chance, we're at the end. The people in front also found that Bruce had stopped, so they all smiled and said, some of them were joking, some of them were really laughing at him. Of course Bruce knew this, so he became even more angry and hated in his heart. I know the middle-aged man who sold his shoes. This time I lose face even more. Moreover, I took the initiative to lose face. I believe that this matter will spread soon, and I will become a member of the circle. It's a laughingstock. Thinking of this, Bruce slammed off the shoes he called and put on his own shoes. As for these shoes, he naturally abandoned them. Those leather shoes lay there quietly, at the upper. One of the rough silver patterns in the sun is a bit shiny. What are you doing? When Huang Feng was still thinking about where he had changed, a woman's voice suddenly came from his ear. Huang Feng turned around and saw that there was indeed a woman, and the object of her question just now seemed to be herself. Oh, nothing. I came to work here on the first day. I was a little curious. I should be able to come here. Huang Feng didn't know the identity of the other party, but he still explained. Of course Zhang Yun knew the person in front of him, because Huang Feng's entry procedures were handled by her, and because the security department only recruited him this time, Zhang Yun had some impression of Huang Feng. Originally, Zhang Yun didn't think Huang Feng had anything special, but it was a bit more attractive. However, when Zhang Yun and the company's vice president went out on business today, they found that the company's vice president Su actually knew Huang Feng and Zhang Yun. I didn't ask in detail at the time, but I was paying attention to Huang Feng in my heart. And just now she happened to pass by here and saw Huang Feng not knowing what she was in a daze, so she took the initiative to strike up a conversation. Of course. Zhang Yun said, by the way, you are the new security guard called Huang Feng. Yeah, you know me. Huang Feng was a little strange. He had just reported today. He had only contacted people from the security department and didn't know anyone from other departments. How could this person know himself? Zhang Yun looks about 24 or 5 years old, possibly younger than Huang Feng. She also wears an OL uniform, but she has short hair and looks a little capable. I did your entry procedures. Zhang Yun said, by the way, introduce myself. My name is Zhang Yun and I work in the personnel department. It turned out to be Manager Zhang. Hello. Huang Feng said. Mr. Zhang, I just deal with miscellaneous things. Zhang Yun said. Of course, this is modest. Although she is not a department manager, she also has some status in the personnel department. Regardless of her young age, it is important to the workplace. Some of the things that she knew better than Huang Feng, otherwise she wouldn't take the initiative to talk to Huang Feng after knowing that Vice President Su knew Huang Feng. By the way, you just came here and are not familiar with the company. Would you like me to show you around? Zhang Yun said with some enthusiasm. No, don't bother Manager Zhang. In the morning, my colleague had already told me a little bit. Huang Feng was a little confused about Zhang Yun's enthusiasm, but he politely rejected her. For his kindness, he remembered the advice from Brother Wang to him in the morning. The Tianjiao group received a good treatment. He still wanted to continue working here, so naturally he didn't want to be troublesome. That's it, that's okay, if you have any other things you need help, you can come to me, then I'll leave. Zhang Yun was not angry, nor did she continue to struggle. She just came here today with a familiar face. After all, she is also not sure about the specific relationship between Vice President Su and the security guard. After Zhang Yun left, Huang Feng left immediately. Since he has tried it, he doesn't need to stay outside to bask in the sun anymore. It's still comfortable indoors, and the time to go to work is coming soon. The other employees of Tianjiao Company are equipped with computers, but they do not have security. However, everyone does not seem to care, and they do not use computers for their work. Huang Feng sits in his own position, but is thinking about his own affairs. In addition to guards standing guard outside the door, they, who are in the security office, have to patrol. However, it is not time yet, so the security guards are also in the office. Huang Feng was thinking about the changes in his body and Zhang Yun's attitude, but he discovered that these two things made him very confused, and both revealed weirdness, and he would not be able to think clearly for a while. Fortunately, when the security has time for him to think about things, he can think about his own affairs even when patrolling. I ate sliced noodles at noon yesterday and Yangzhou fried rice at night. These two things are not the first time I ate them. The changes in my body should have nothing to do with them. Huang Feng began to study slowly. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 8, there are words. Nothing special happened during the day yesterday. I just went to Jiangda to buy something. This wouldn't make me change. Huang Feng thought to himself, is it at night? What happened when I was sleeping? I don't know it myself. After thinking about it for a long time, Huang Feng didn't think of the reason, so he could only give up in the end. Anyway, this change is a good thing, but not a bad thing. For half a day in the afternoon, Huang Feng was still adapting to the new environment. When patrolling, he was also under the leadership of Wang Gu. He also probably moved some areas around. Of course, other employees' offices, they generally do not go, unless something happens there, they will pass. Suddenly, it's time to leave work. Huang Feng and the others leave work half an hour later than the other employees. In other words, they can leave only when everyone else has left. Moreover, not everyone is leaving, they want to leave. The night shift was on duty. However, today was not Huang Feng's shift. Therefore, after waiting for another half an hour, Huang Feng ended his first day of life in Tianjiao Company and went home. When he got off work, Huang Feng stopped by to buy vegetables at the vegetable market. He returned to the rental room and made a lettuce stir-fried meat and a tomato scrambled egg. Usually he can cook one dish. Today is because he has a new job, to celebrate. When he returned home, Huang Feng replaced his leather shoes. Although these leather shoes are still very comfortable to wear, it is obviously not the same to wear them all the time. Wearing leather shoes at home is obviously not as comfortable as wearing slippers. After eating, Huang Feng was going to go for a walk and take a walk, just as digesting food. However, this time he did not wear leather shoes, but sports shoes. After all, no matter how comfortable the leather shoes are, this kind of walking is still it is more comfortable to wear sneakers. Huan Feng's sports shoes are naturally copycats, and the time is not short. Huan Feng has not been willing to throw them away. He is not yet qualified to do them. After strolling outside, Huan Feng felt that he was almost digested, so he prepared to trot back, as if he had exercised, but when he got up, he noticed the difference, because the relaxed feeling disappeared in the morning. He has returned to the state he was yesterday. What is going on? Or is my performance in the morning only temporary? Huan Feng was puzzled again. Originally he didn't intend to struggle with this matter, because he found that this change is to make himself run faster. There is no other use at all, so I don't plan to go into it deeply. Whether he runs fast or not has no effect on him. However, the state in the morning disappeared again, and he was naturally attracted by this situation again. No. Shoes, my shoes are changed. Huan Feng shouted suddenly. Fortunately, there were no passers-by beside him, otherwise he would definitely be regarded as neurotic. However, Huan Feng did not pay attention to those. He felt that he seemed to understand something. Yesterday he still wore the old shoes, but this morning he wore the newly bought leather shoes. Now he wore the old shoes again and ran by himself. The fastest time is when you are wearing newly bought leather shoes, and when you wear your old shoes, you are usually running. Huan Feng guessed in his heart that his change might be related to the newly bought pair of leather shoes. Of course, it could be that his morning state was just accidental, and it had nothing to do with anything. However, no matter what, Huan Feng, who had guesses in his heart, felt that he could not wait. He had to verify and see if he could solve the problem that had plagued him for a day. As a result, Huan Feng began to accelerate and ran back. By this time, in June, the weather was already very hot. Even at night, the temperature in the air was hot. Huan Feng ran back at his fastest speed. Not long. Time is already sweating profusely, but now Huan Feng can no longer take care of this. He must go home as soon as possible. He instinctively feels that his life may have some changes. Panting and running to the house, his legs were already weak, but Huan Feng didn't care about taking a break, so he quickly took out the shoes and looked at it carefully. Well, it feels good, it shows that it is very smooth, and the workmanship is quite good. It is not a copycat at all. It is indeed worthwhile to buy such a pair of leather shoes for more than 100 yuan. However, does it have it? What special place? Huan Feng sat down on the ground, holding his shoes and analyzed. Hey, there seems to be something here. Huan Feng suddenly found that he saw something on the surface of the shoe, which seemed to be words. Therefore, Huan Feng put the shoes in front of his eyes and leaned very close to him. Only then did he make sure that he did not make a mistake just now. There was indeed a line above the shoes, floating in the air. Unnamed leather shoes, something that Professor North accidentally invented. It has the characteristics of increasing running speed, enhancing jumping ability, breathable, tough, not easy to be damaged, and not contaminated with dust. These fonts are somewhat transparent, but Huan Feng can still see clearly. However, it is necessary to get closer. Huan Feng tried again later and found that he can only see it when he concentrates. Otherwise, he can see nothing. What's going on? How can there be words? What's more, Professor North invented it. When will this produce fake leather shoes be called a professor? Moreover, these shoes have so many characteristics. Huan Feng looked at the font on the leather shoes and uttered a little speechlessly. Immediately he took a small knife and slashed it gently on the leather shoes, and found that there was no trace left, only to increase the strength, and found that it was still the case. In the end, Huan Feng almost used all his strength, and only a shallow white line was left on it, and it quickly disappeared again. It seems that there is nothing wrong. The word should be true. Then my situation in the morning is also because of these leather shoes. However, this is a copycat. When is the copycat so powerful? Not only the quality is better than the original. It's even better, it actually has some additional functions. Huan Feng thought quietly in his heart, and confirmed his conjecture. However, Huan Feng is a little skeptical, are these shoes really a knockoff he bought yesterday? Looking at these characteristics, it is obviously not the same. Moreover, when I put on the shoes this morning, I found that these shoes are obviously different from when I tried them in the store yesterday. I didn't care about it at the time. Now it seems, there is also a strange thing here. Thinking of this, Huang Feng put on these leather shoes and went out again. It was still early, and the shoe store had not closed yet, so he wanted to check it out. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 9, Verification. The shop where Huang Feng bought leather shoes yesterday was not too far away from his residence, so he arrived soon, and as he thought, the shop had not closed yet. After Huang Feng went in, he went directly to the shoe cabinet where he bought leather shoes yesterday. On that shoe cabinet, there were many leather shoes that were the same as the ones he bought last night. He took out a pair and placed it directly in spite of the strange look of the salesperson. In front of him, however, no matter how he concentrated his attention, he didn't find that line of words. Unwilling to give up, Huang Feng picked up another pair, still no results. While the salesperson saw Huang Feng looking at each pair, his eyes almost stuck. Some couldn't stand it anymore. He walked over and said, "Sir, I can help you choose what style you want." "No, I'll take a look first," Huang Feng said while looking at each other. "Well, sir, if you need any help, you can call me." The salesman had no choice but to say this, but she did not leave, but was not far from Huang Feng. Seeing Huang Feng's appearance, she was deeply afraid of Huang Feng. The leather shoes in their store were damaged. "You must know that they are all counterfeit goods and the quality is very poor." "No, this pair doesn't have it, this pair doesn't have it, so there won't be. I obviously bought it here yesterday," Huang Feng said while looking at it. However, when Huang Feng rummaged through the entire shoe cabinet, he didn't see which pair of shoes had words on it. Is it just the pair he bought? This is a coincidence. "Sir, what can I do for help?" The salesman looked at Huang Feng with an anxious look, and said again. "Beauty, please help me see, like the shoes on my feet, do you still have them here?" Huang Feng said to the salesperson. The salesman glanced at the shoes on Huang Feng's feet and said, "Sir, you don't have these shoes here. You can go to other stores." "No. It's impossible. I only bought it from you yesterday. How come there are none? Aren't these all?" Huang Feng said, pointing to the shoes on the back of the shoe cabinet. The salesperson understood in his heart that this Huang Feng might be troublesome because of the quality of the shoes. Although their shop sells knockoffs, they can be exchanged within 7 days. Of course, they have to refund the money. Impossible, so the salesperson thinks that Huang Feng might be here to change shoes, so she has to look at the shoes. So, the salesperson once again looked at the shoes on Huang Feng's feet, but she was sure that the shoes were not in their store. Huang Feng might have made a mistake or made trouble on purpose. "Sir, the shoes on your feet are really not our shop. The shoes on the shoe cabinet behind you are not the same as the ones on your feet. Moreover, our shop has never sold this kind of shoes on your feet." Miss Salesperson said that she has been working in this store for a long time, so she is also very clear about the types and styles of shoes in the store. The shoes on Huang Feng's feet have never been sold in the store. "How is it possible? I only bought it from here yesterday, how could it be different?" Huang Feng said again. At this time, the salesperson also remembered a bit. Huang Feng did come yesterday, and she had some impressions, but she was sure that Huang Feng bought here not the pair of shoes on his feet, because they were basically in the store. "I have never been in that pair of shoes." "Sir, I remember, you did buy shoes here yesterday, but you bought the shoes on the shoe cabinet behind you, not the pair on your feet. Is there any difference? Aren't they all the same?" Huang Feng said. He did pick up the shoes from this shoe cabinet yesterday, otherwise he wouldn't go straight to this shoe cabinet today. "Of course it's different, sir, please take off a shoe for me," said the salesperson. Huang Feng did not hesitate, took off one shoe and handed it to the salesperson, and the salesperson took out another from the shoe cabinet, put the two shoes together and said, "Sir, please look at these two shoes. It looks similar at first glance, but there are still a lot of differences. First of all, the look is different. One is darker and the other is lighter. There is also the upper part, one with patterns and one without, and the toe of this shoe is a bit pointed, this one is more sleek, and that is, you see that our shoe has a trademark, but yours does not. The trademark is printed on it, and it will not disappear in a short time. The salesperson analyzed one by one. Huang Feng only now knows that there are so many differences between the two shoes. Also, you see, sir, there are some differences in the surface design of these two shoes. If you look carefully, you can see that, and the two shoes feel different when they are held in your hand. So, this pair of shoes is really not in our shop. We have never sold such shoes in our shop. The salesperson said, and she complained in her heart, the feel and workmanship of your shoes are obviously much better than ours, one it is genuine, not comparable to our copycats. Huang Feng took the shoes, and he also remembered that the shoes he bought yesterday were indeed the same as the one that the salesperson had. Yesterday, they introduced it to himself in detail, but the one he had was obviously not. I bought it yesterday. Did someone drop their shoes? However, it is impossible. You can also drop those expensive shoes when you drop the bag. Your pair of shoes cost more than 100 yuan. Moreover, it is obvious that the quality of this pair is better now. Who is so stupid? Do you see that this shoe is something special? Huang Feng handed the shoe in his hand to the salesperson again. Special? What do you mean? The salesperson said questioningly, taking the shoes. Look at it carefully, look closer, and focus on it, Huang Feng reminded. The salesperson was a little unwilling in her heart, but Huang Feng's shoes didn't smell of athlete's foot, so she picked up the shoes like Huang Feng before, leaned in front of her, and looked at it with concentration. Nothing special. After watching it for a while, there was still nothing to be discovered. Did you see any words? Huang Feng reminded. Words? The salesman glanced at the shoes again with some confusion, and said, no, the surface of the shoes is very smooth, there are no words. Oh, so, thank you, I might have made a mistake before, sorry. Huang Feng took the shoes and put them on and said. You're welcome, do you want to see and buy a pair? The salesperson has a good mentality, and she hasn't forgotten to win the business. I don't need it for the time being, I only bought it yesterday, and come back when I need it. Huang Feng said. That's fine, welcome Mr. Come Again. Myriad World's Inventory Box Chapter 10, Dark Treasure. After leaving the store, Huang Feng walked directly home. He has now confirmed that these shoes are indeed not in this store. He was a little skeptical before, but now that the clerk said the same, he was sure. Moreover, Huang Feng discovered that only he could see that line of characters, and the salesperson could not see it at all, so other people should not see it either. As for the possibility of dropping the bag that I guessed before, there should be no such thing. First of all, no one would be so stupid to use a good thing for his copycat. Secondly, after the pair of leather shoes were bought yesterday, in addition to bedtime, other times he has never left his field of vision, and has no chance of being dropped. The surface of the shoe has changed. Whether it is changed on the basis of the original shoe or replaced by a pair, its surface has indeed changed. According to time speculation, then this pair of shoes can only sleep on their own, time has changed. At other times, I have been watching, and there is no change. When I sleep, I put my shoes in the storage box, so it should be the change that happened during that time. After returning to the rental house, Huang Feng immediately took out the storage box that was placed in the corner. There were a few books that I bought at Jiangda before, which were impurities. The fat student put it in the storage box. I didn't care, anyway, it was not worth the money. Finally, I gave it to Huang Feng, and some of the magazines that Huang Feng bought before were also placed in it. In addition to a few books, Huang Feng also put a few clean clothes inside yesterday, as well as a few hangers. There was nothing else, and he had not had time to organize his own things. And Huang Feng now took the things inside out one by one. The clothes were normal, there was no text on them, and the books were normal. There was also nothing special on the top. Huang Feng, who didn't give up, looked at it again, there was still no special place. Is it because I guessed wrong? It has nothing to do with this storage box. Huang Feng thought, a little disappointed. He was so excited before, and thought that he had encountered magical things that he encountered in the novel, but now it seems that he thinks too much. Putting the things back in the storage box again, Huang Feng went to wash up with some disappointment, and then lay on the bed without any mood to play with the mobile phone, still thinking about shoes in his mind. Now he is sure that these shoes are indeed extraordinary, it can be said to be very powerful, it can actually speed up the running speed a lot, and there are many other characteristics. However, just such a pair of shoes can't change his current life at all. Wear these shoes to participate in the competition? Not to mention whether he is qualified or not, if he really wears leather shoes to participate in the game, he will definitely be suspected after the game. Although others may not be able to find out, it must be a trouble for him. What Huang Feng wants to know most now is what makes his ordinary pair of leather shoes a pair of super leather shoes. Only when he understands the reasons can he have plans for follow-up. Originally, he was still wondering if it was the storage box problem. After all, he always liked to read novels when he was in college. Even if he was working, he would read it occasionally. Therefore, he should be more capable of accepting strange things. Think about that. Moreover, his leather shoes were kept in the storage box after they were taken back and before they were put on. That's why he had this suspicion. However, he had checked it just now, and the other things hadn't changed at all. What they were like before, and what they are now, this disappointed him a bit. It's really annoying, and what is going on? This kind of thing is not easy to discuss with someone. Huang Feng thought a little irritably, if there were no changes in those leather shoes at the beginning, he wouldn't think much about it. However, there may be something that can change his status quo, or even his future life, how could he not care? It's just that no matter how much he cares, it doesn't seem to be of any use, and there is no way to find the root of the matter. When Huang Feng was struggling on the bed to think about what was going on, the storage box he placed in the corner flashed again with a faint light, but the light was very dim, and if you didn't look carefully, you wouldn't be able to see clearly. In the world of Ledingji, the Emperor Kangxi designed the layout to capture Obai, and Suo Aitu and Wei Xiaobao went to copy Obai's home together on his order. Master Chi Suo, Grandpa Gue, found a treasure house in Obai's bedroom. When Suo Aitu sent some treasures to him in order to please Wei Xiaobao, a soldier came to report. Go and see. Wow, there are so many treasures. After Suo Aitu and Wei Xiaobao entered the Obai treasure house, they were immediately attracted by the treasures inside. The two immediately lay on the pile of treasures, choosing as much as they like. Wow, what is this? It's so heavy. Wei Xiaobao found a dagger in Obai's treasure. Because it was too heavy, he disliked it, so he threw it away. Who knew that after he threw it away, the dagger was inserted into the table next to it, and it was directly pierced. This dagger is a bit weird. Wei Xiaobao and Suo Aitu looked at each other. After that, they tried it with the knife on the soldier next to them, and found that the dagger had cut the knife over there without any resistance. Congratulations to Grandpa Gue for getting a dagger that cuts iron like mud. Suo Aitu said quickly to please. And Wei Xiaobao smiled and accepted the dagger. What is this? However, it must be a treasure that can be placed here. Suo Aitu found a black vest in the treasure house at this time, which looked very ordinary. Duke Gue, do you want to try? Suo Aitu took the vest to Wei Xiaobao and said. All right. Wei Xiaobao did not refuse. It's quite comfortable. Wei Xiaobao said with satisfaction after putting it on. Afterwards, the house searching continued, and the two successively discovered many treasures. However, after the final house searching, Wei Xiaobao and Suo Aitu were greedy for ink. After returning to the palace, Wei Xiaobao did not go to meet the emperor first, but went back to his residence first, hiding some of his treasures, and that black vest was one of them. What is this thing is really ugly, but it should be a good treasure if it can be placed in the treasure house. I will try it with a dagger first. Wei Xiaobao said to himself. As a result, the treasure dagger that had been shaved as iron before left no trace on this vest. Even if he tried his best, he couldn't damage it, not even a white spot. It's really a treasure, no, I have to wear it all the time to be safe. Wei Xiaobao said overjoyed. However, before he had time to put it on, there was a knock on the door.